Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 7. We will be presented an assignment entitled Sustainability and Demographic Pressure on Social Security in Indonesia and Japan. So, here is our group member. My name is Nur Atria binti Johari and my fellow friends is Nur Amira Syahida binti Samsudin, Nur Farahana Husna binti Badrul Isham and Nur Atika binti Kamarul Akmal Arif.
Since 2018, Tokyo has been the most populous city in the world, but this year, that's changed to Indonesia's capital city, Jakarta. According to the UN, Jakarta has just shy of 42 million residents. 9 of the 10 biggest cities in the world are in Asia. As Japan's population declines due to a growing number of elderly residents and falling birth rates, it has dropped to 3rd place. Second is Dhaka, Bangladesh, which is expected to pass Jakarta by 2050. The rest of the top 10 are New Delhi, Shanghai, Guangzhou, Cairo, Manila, Kolkata, and Seoul.
Let's start with introduction. Here I will introduce the sustainability and demographic pressure on social security system in Japan and Indonesia.
June 30th, Japan secures the future of its aging population. On June 30th, 1961, Japan launches its national pension system. Aimed at supporting elderly citizens, it becomes a cornerstone of post-war social security. As Japan's population grows older, this system proves vital. Today, it's one of the largest public pension programs in the world. Do you think today's pension systems are still sustainable? Follow for smart moves in Japanese history that shaped generations.
Social security system is a system that has been used widely to ensure economic stability and social welfare. The system are designed to ensure the workers get the benefit during their retirement, disability, unemployment, and others. Tax revenue, government subsidies, and workers' contribution are the main sources of the funding for social security benefit, which help maintain the system for upcoming payout. However, sustainability of social security system can be impacted by demographic changes such as declining fertility rates, rising aging population, and shift in labor market structure. These demographic changes put upward pressure on countries' economic growth and significantly can impact on the contribution rate of the social security system for future generations. Based on previous study, Japan and Indonesia highlighted an issue on their demographic changes that impacted the social security system. Based on WHO, the population of Japan is expected to drop by 50% in 2050. Rising aging population in Japan definitely shrinking the workforce load and impact the social security sustainability of the country. As mentioned by previous study, people inevitably retire and leave the workforce as they get older, and there aren't enough young people in Japan right now to fill all of the jobs these retirees leave behind. These demographic changes, shrinking workforce, and high old-age dependency ratio, placing severe strain on its social security system. In contrast, Indonesia is a developing country with many younger workers, but not all of them are protected by the social security system. Based on chart here, the country is moving to aging society with rising life expectancy and large informal sector worker, which significantly impact on social security coverage and contribution. Based on previous studies, state that the majority of workers in the informal sector are often overlooked by the social security system, and the current social security program largely target and concentrate on workers in the formal sector, which exaggerate the number of uninsured workers in developing countries. The unbalanced structure of working sector puts strain on social security sustainability in the future. Therefore, this study looks at how demographic pressure affect the sustainability and social security system, focusing on Japan as developed country and Indonesia as developing country. Specifically, it examines challenges such as declining fertility rate, population aging, and the growing informal workforce, and how this issue influence effort to maintain social security benefits. Move on to the analysis of sustainability and demographic pressure on social security system in Japan and Indonesia. For Japan, Japan has one of the most comprehensive social security system in the world with high coverage and strong institutional support. However, the main sustainability challenge does not come from system design but from demographic pressure. Japan is currently a super aging society where nearly 30% of the population is aged 65 and above, while the proportion of young people continues to decline. This demographic structure leads to rapidly increasing old age dependency ratio, meaning fewer workers are supporting more retirees. At the same time, rising life expectancy result in longer pension payment period and higher health healthcare and long-term care costs, especially due to chronic illness among the elderly. As a result, despite strong coverage, Japan faced growing fiscal pressure and long-term sustainability risks.
In Japan, people in their 80s and 90s are still working. Whether it's in the driver's seat of a cab, at the counter of a convenience store or restaurant, or next to a construction site, they're all busy. According to surveys, many Japanese seniors continue to work for health reasons. Working allows them to maintain a regular pace of life and keep their bodies and minds in good shape with the right amount of hustle and bustle, which is vital for them to enjoy their old age. For some, work is a stage for them to express themselves, where they can continue to utilize their talents and wisdom and find meaning in their lives. In addition, the social interaction at work is an important motivation for seniors to continue working. In the work environment, they can make new friends and communicate with colleagues and customers, which makes their lives more fulfilling and no longer shrouded in loneliness and isolation. Follow me to know a different world.
Penjual makanan, sopir ojek, dan pedagang asongan, kalian pasti nggak asing dengan mereka. Nah, ternyata lebih dari separuh pekerja di Indonesia ini bekerja di sektor informal. Apa itu pekerjaan informal dan mengapa pekerja informal ini begitu tinggi di Indonesia? Data Badan Pusat Statistik menunjukkan peningkatan jumlah pekerja informal di Indonesia dalam 5 tahun terakhir. Pada Februari 2025, tercatat ada 86,58 juta pekerja informal atau 59,40% dari total penduduk yang bekerja. Pekerja informal ini terbanyak ada di Papua Pegunungan sebanyak 94,71%, Papua Tengah 88,51%, dan Nusa Tenggara Timur 74,42%. Menurut BPS, pekerja informal adalah mereka yang berstatus berusaha sendiri, berusaha dibantu buruh tidak tetap atau pekerja keluarga, atau tidak dibayar, pekerja bebas, dan pekerja keluarga atau tidak dibayar. Selain PKL dan pengojek, ada freelancer, buruh tani, buruh harian lepas, dan asisten rumah tangga. Tingginya jumlah pekerja informal nggak bisa lepas dari maraknya kasus pemutusan hubungan kerja alias PHK. Belum lagi sejak pandemi COVID-19, lowongan kerja formal amat terbatas, sementara jumlah pencari kerja kian banyak. Hasil survei The Prakarsa terhadap 213 orang menunjukkan 60% responden menjadikan profesi pengojek daring sebagai pekerjaan utama setelah terkena PHK. Ada juga kemunculan platform ekonomi gig yang menawarkan pekerjaan bersifat sementara dan lepas atau kontrak jangka pendek atau proyek satu kali. Ini semakin memudahkan masyarakat masuk sektor informal. Menurut Bank Dunia, dominasi sektor informal berpotensi membatasi ambisi Indonesia menjadi negara berpendapatan tinggi dalam 2 dekade ke depan. Perekonomian tumbuh tetapi kualitasnya rendah akibat produktivitasnya yang menurun, penerimaan pajak yang lesu, dan daya beli masyarakat yang melemah. Hal ini disebabkan sektor informal seperti usaha mikro dan kecil serta pekerja mandiri umumnya tidak tercatat dalam sistem perpajakan. Mereka yang bekerja di sektor informal juga sulit mengakses jaminan sosial. Jaminan sosial ketenagakerjaan di bawah BPJS Ketenagakerjaan lebih banyak diikuti pekerja formal. Pada 2024, tingkat partisipasi pekerja informal dalam program jaminan sosial ketenagakerjaan masih rendah, yakni hanya sekitar 9% dari total potensi pekerja informal. Total peserta aktif jaminan ketenagakerjaan dari pekerja informal mencapai 9,5 juta orang, mencakup 2,5 juta orang petani, 524.284 nelayan, dan 6,4 juta orang berprofesi lain di luar petani atau nelayan. Jika tren ini berlanjut, pemerintah menghadapi resiko lemahnya penerimaan negara, menyusutnya kelas menengah, dan meningkatnya beban sosial. Di tengah perlambatan ekonomi, pemerintah bersama dunia usaha perlu mencari cara untuk mempercepat perputaran roda ekonomi. Harapannya, lapangan kerja formal bisa bertambah sehingga asa untuk menambah kesejahteraan warga ikut terdongkrak. Sampai jumpa di Bahas Peristiwa berikutnya.
In contrast, Indonesia is not yet an aging society, but it is aging at a much faster pace. Declining fertility rates and rising life expectancy are expected to significantly increase the elderly population over the next 2 decades. Indonesia's main sustainability challenge lies in limited coverage and a narrow contribution base. Less than 15% of the workforce has adequate retirement income protection, mainly because the pension system is concentrated in the formal sector while the informal sector dominates the employment. In addition, the fragmented structure of the pension system and behavioral issues such as the use of Jaminan Hari Tua (JHT) as short-term savings further weaken the long-term sustainability. As the number of elderly increases, these weaknesses may result in higher old age poverty and financial strain on the system. Overall, Japan and Indonesia face sustainability challenges for different reasons. Japan's challenge is managing high costs in an already aged society, while Indonesia's risk comes from low coverage and insufficient preparation for the future aging.
Now look at the advantage and disadvantage of social security. Some advantage of social security system are zero active management, inflation-adjusted payments, and elder first. Japan's social security system provides universal coverage for healthcare and pensions. Almost everyone living in Japan is automatically enrolled whether they are employees, self-employed, students, or retirees. This system requires very little active management from individuals, as employers handle enrollment and premium deduction. This will result into the reducing inequality and ensures that all residents have access to basic healthcare and retirement protection. Second, Japan applies inflation-adjusted payment through a mechanism known as macroeconomic indexing. This helps pension benefits keep up with rising prices and wages, allowing retirees to maintain their purchasing power. At the same time, regular reviews are conducted to ensure the system remains financially sustainable in the long term. Lastly, the system provides financial security for the elderly. Many older Japanese rely heavily on public pensions as their main source of income after retirement. This support helps reduce poverty among senior citizens and allows them to maintain a basic standard of living. Even with Japan's social security system also faces the most significant issue is financial strain caused by an aging population and a declining birth rate. With fewer workers supporting a growing number of retirees, pension and healthcare costs continue to rise, raising concerns about long-term sustainability. Another disadvantage is intergenerational inequality. Older generations generally receive more benefits than they contribute, while younger generations are expected to pay more but receive fewer benefits in the future. This creates dissatisfaction and reduces the trust in the system among younger workers. Finally, there is a risk of care bankruptcy, especially in long-term care services. The increasing demand for elderly care puts financial pressure on hospitals and care facilities. This will lead to potential closures. This not only affects access to health care for the elderly, but also reduces employment and contribution levels, further weakening the system.
On to the advantages and disadvantages of social security system in Indonesia. The advantages of social security system in Indonesia consists of comprehensive range of benefits, strong legal framework, and improved social. First, one key advantage of Indonesia's social security system is its comprehensive coverage. The system provides protection through multiple programs such as national health insurance, pensions, old age savings, work injury insurance, and death benefits. This allows individuals to be protected against various life cycle risks, including illness, disability, retirement, and death. Second, Indonesia has a strong legal and institutional framework. The system is governed by the National Social Security Law and the BPJS law, which clearly define rules and responsibilities. The establishment of BPJS Kesihatan and BPJS Ketenagakerjaan also helps ensure institutional stability and policy continuity. Lastly, social security program has contributed to positive social outcomes and improved access to healthcare, and financial support has been associated with better health outcomes, longer life expectancy, and poverty reduction, especially among the vulnerable groups. There are three disadvantages of social security system in Indonesia, which is limited coverage, demographic pressure, and administrative inefficiency. Advantages earlier, Indonesia's social security system also faces several challenges. One major issue is limited coverage, particularly among informal sector workers. Since participation is mainly mandatory for formal workers, a large proportion of the workforce remains excluded, which weakens the contribution base and limits retirement protection. Another challenge is increasing demographic pressure. Indonesia is aging at a fast pace, and as the elderly population grows, pension and healthcare costs are expected to rise. This will increase the dependency ratios and place additional strain on the financial sustainability of the system. Finally, administrative inefficiency remains a concern. Complex registration procedures, compliance requirements, and uneven enforcement reduce the participation and public trust, especially among the small firms and informal workers. These issues limit the effectiveness and long-term sustainability of the system. Next, we move to the recommendation on how to improve their social security. For Japan, the key challenge is rapid population aging, which puts pressure on pension and healthcare financing. Therefore, increasing the retirement age and encouraging older workers and women to remain in the labor force can help expand the contributor base. In addition, adjusting benefit indexation and improving healthcare efficiency are important to control rising expenditures. These reforms aim to maintain sustainability while ensuring fairness between generations. Next, in Indonesia, sustainability issues are mainly caused by low coverage and administrative weakness rather than aging. Expanding coverage to informal workers are improving contribution, compliance are critical to sustaining revenue. At the same time, better governance and financial management are needed to address BPJS deficits. Although Indonesia is still relatively young, early preparation for future aging is necessary to ensure long-term sustainability.
Buat kawan-kawan di Konfederasi Serikat Buruh, suara kawan-kawan sangat penting dalam ekosistem jaminan sosial di Indonesia. Kita di Indonesia, suara pekerja suara yang sangat banyak sekali, dan kita menjadi kontributori atau penyumbang iuran bagi dua program di dua BPJS. Nah, oleh karena itu saya kira bagaimana menyamakan pandangan dari semua konfederasi serikat pekerja ini sangat penting, dan diskusi-diskusi yang harus terjadi dengan intens itu menjadi suatu keharusan. Saya kira itu menjadi ajakan sekaligus juga himbauan buat kawan-kawan serikat buruh.
In the case of my grandmother, she's now 64 years old. She can talk and she can speak, but because of incapacity of physical thing, she cannot take bus by herself, and then she needs all the time support. So she stay in the institution. It's 24 hours support, meal 3 times a day, and then her individual room is insured. She received pension. By using that pension money, then she used to receive long-term care service. So with that comprehensive social insurance system in both pension and long-term care, my grandmother do not need to rely on our family members, but they taken care.
In conclusion, the study shows that Japan and Indonesia face sustainability challenges from different perspectives. Japan's social security system is pressured mainly by demographic aging, while Indonesia's system is constrained by coverage and governance issues. Therefore, policy response must be tailored to each country's content. Early and well-designed reforms are crucial to ensure that social security system remains sustainable and effective in the long run. That's all from us. Thank you.